We should start with like the bow, 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 bow. You know that noise? Bow, bow. Episode 2. Sarah's looking all sophisticated. Did you ever do this in like elementary school?
Yeah, I mean, I probably did it like last year, to be honest. So
Probably. It used to be a big thing. So, the Olympia.
okay, I have a lot to say, but I'm gonna try to like keep myself reined in.
Keep it short, just like all the competitors. All right. I mean, oops.
Okay, so we only have results from a few people.
Mhm.
Do you want to start with the men?
I mean, we can.
Okay,
Well, there's only one result from the men's, right?
I know that's what I said.
Classic. All right, so I don't really know who this is. Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not very familiar with him.
I'm not either. I don't know. The only person I am familiar with is Chris Bumstead.
You think that you're not necessarily 100% that the right person won.
Yeah, I mean, I go back and forth. We talked about this before where it's all about proportions and like
Mm-hmm.
posing and like the classic aspect of things. And all these bodybuilders are going from bodybuilding to classic. And I'm like, why?
Can you explain what classic is versus like bodybuilding or 212 or whatever? Quickly.
So classic is pretty a new category this year. It has a bunch of new different poses. They look at different proportions compared to bodybuilding. So more of like streamlined V taper and like your muscle bellies, which I like this would be your muscle belly of your bicep, right? Is not as bulbous. Like you would say that, right? it's a
Yeah.
it's a really
Yeah.
weird word. And by the way, I have no credibility. I've never competed. Sarah's competed.
Well, I mean, you know, like I mean, you know more of the men than I do.
I do.
So, and I mean, I know I'm decently good, I would say, at looking at the stage and comparing against each of
Mhm.
them for like what they are to do. But just in case like people didn't know what classic was
Right. I
versus
mean,
because
like
like
bodybuilding competing is all about proportions, and each category is pretty much a change in the look of proportions. You would
mhm,
say, right? So
yeah.
like bodybuilding is just like these massive, massive guys that um, don't necessarily have small waists, but they look at how I just see it as like a meat battle, pretty much.
Yeah.
Who's got the most muscle? Physique's more of like an upper body one because you wear like really long trunks, um, and it's more about like looking elegant and natural. Like the poses are pretty natural, like stand forward and they all just like stand there, you know.
Yeah.
Classic is more, I would say, pose oriented. Like there's a bunch of different poses you can do. It looks at the whole body because they wear shorts, but not like the muscle trunks that bodybuilders wear,
Mhm.
or posing trunks. Um, and it's just more of a streamlined physique competition rather than bodybuilding where it's all about like
Which one's your favorite?
classic for sure. It used to be physique, but then those guys just started getting way too big, you know.
Which leads me to my rant, which is I think all the categories, men and women, both, everybody's getting too big. It's just like it's insane. And you know what? Honestly, I think you can see it more on the women's side than the men's side.
Hmm. Yeah, you showed me some pictures before we started, and I'm like, that's
Like so,
bikini and like Hulk Hogan to
yeah. Like so, I
She
mean,
Hulk.
and what what Colton's referencing is the fact that I was referencing Erin Stern 2012. She was Miss Olympia for 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and her look. If you put her on stage today, she would be in the bikini category.
Hmm.
And that's how much the women are creeping up in size, in striation, in lat width. It's just like it's getting a little intense. It kind of makes me have to. It begs the question: where can this sport go in the long term?
Oh Lord.
Like,
Is that a question for me, or is that just a general statement? Because
I mean, it's a general statement,
I
but if
think
you have an idea,
I mean, it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. Honestly, like what sport, any sport in that matter, has gotten smaller or more refined.
this is true.
Like,
Basketball players are all taller.
yeah, they're much more muscular. Defensive ends are fatter now.
I remember when I grew up, when I played volleyball and I was on the court, like I might have seen a few girls that were like closer around my height, but now it's like when I was coaching after college, I was the shortest person on the court, and I would be coaching a bunch of like 16-year-olds. These kids, everybody's just getting big, but
yeah.
it, with bodybuilding specifically, do you think that we're going to start to get to a point where like the bikini girls are because it's already pretty much mandatory that bikini girls get breast implants to balance out their size.
Yeah,
And also,
I mean, I don't honestly know anyone that competes that doesn't have fake boobs.
exactly.
So, more power to you, because I think it looks great.
Well, and so my question is like, when is competing going to become such a money pit that it may drop off at some point?
No, because I think people just spend money on stupid shit anyway. So, like me and you were just talking. You were at a store and you're like, "This sweater looks so cute," and I'm like, "I want one," right? So I don't think it's not. I don't think the money is gonna deter people from competing, just because it's a very. I don't want to say a vain sport because it's all about you.
I mean,
I had this argument before with someone, and they're like, "You just like that sport because it's all about you and you're self-centered and you're selfish." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, pretty much. Like it is about you."
it is. I think that, but it's the same as like golf is a solo sport, and no one calls golf like vain. Now this is slightly more vain, yes, because it's about how you look. But I think that people don't understand, and you can see this on Instagram or whatever. Like, let's say that you see a guy that like posts a picture, he looks good, and as someone who prefers men, not every person that you look at or compliment online is about you being attracted to them, but you appreciating what their physique is, knowing the work it takes, right?
True.
Like, so I think that the fitness community, we're very good at understanding that, like, even if it's if it's about ourselves, we can kind of like get outside of ourselves and look at just like the progress of the body as it is, and not necessarily like, look how amazing I look, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think takes away from the vanity aspect of it.
That is true. That is very true. Now you got me thinking. Now I'm like, there's like a very fine line between. This has always been like a topic of like what you find attractive versus what you can appreciate, right?
That's true. I think that women are pretty good at it.
Women are really good at it. Gay men are not good at it. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem turning on and off that switch because I'm taken. Sorry. But I know a lot of people that get in relationships and it's like a big issue because like their partner wants to look like that, and their person they're with can appreciate a physique that looks like the way their partner wants to look, and then their partner gets jealous.
This is true.
So it's just like, I think that's where it gets like its vain aspect from, because a lot of people want to look good, and then the people that say that, oh, so that person looks good, that someone else gets jealous about that. I think that's how I would explain it, right?
Yes.
All right, well, we can talk about this forever, but we are going on and on. All right, so
final words. What do you think so far of Mr. Olympia?
Well, right before this, the results came out for men's physique, and I'm glad Jeremy Buendia did not win because he's won 4 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Phil Heath doesn't win because he's won how many times in a row. I just think it's good to mix it up because it's a very opinionated sport, and I think that can like just build up over the years. And when someone new comes in and sweeps a title, it just mixes everything up. So I'm happy with how things are ending up so far.
I would absolutely agree with you. It is so great to see some new faces out there. We saw Candice Lewis placing second, and it's nice to see her back on the stage. She took some time off, but it's great to see that Oksana for fitness, women's fitness, took a back seat, and to see some new blood and some new faces up there. I think that it's kind of we're seeing the regeneration of the sport and like it moving on to the newer kids.
All the young ones are coming in.
It's great to see it.
Yeah. All right. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.